evening, freaks. I'm here to give Cancer a read straight from the hip with lots of lip. And we're looking into what's coming up for you throughout this lunar cycle that we're currently in, which is an action-packed lunar cycle. It got kicked off with that Virgo new moon, and it will also end in the sign of Virgo when Mercury goes direct out of its retrograde action in Libra and goes back into Virgo. Okay, so we got Earth starting this cycle, finishing this cycle. We got a lot of backwards action going on. You know, just about everything is in retrograde right now. Okay, so we got a lot of review stuff coming up. Hopefully, you planted some good seeds and intentions for moving towards your future in those first 10 days of this cycle up to that Pisces full moon, which was really bringing in the nurturing that we need for this healing work and integration work we're doing as we're closing up this last cycle and moving into the future. And this is very much what's on deck for you, Cancer. I know this because I was already shuffling, preparing your deck, tuning it to the Cancer collective energy, which is Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, North Node. We're also throwing Mercury, Mars into the mix because of the current action going on planetarily. And if you have a packed fourth house, as in a stellium, 3 or more planets in the house of Cancer, which is, of course, that fourth house, okay? And this is very strange. I've never had this come in a reading before, but maybe it's because there's so much review stuff coming up, and I do feel like it's a huge, closing of a karmic cycle. And there is, this theme of like generational healing, ancestral healing, healing the DNA, just really all of this very interesting downloads, coming in around this energy we're moving through right now. There definitely is like this feeling that we're going to be stepping into that fool's journey, a whole brand new cycle. And it's going to be really kicking off with Libra season. And it's just such an interesting time of like the scales balancing, right? So it's possible you could be dealing with a Libra or somebody who has air signs strongly aspected in their chart. Definitely like Libra coming forward really strong though with this energy. I say this because when I was preparing your deck, Cancer, I did all the shuffling and then I went to start, doing the cut of the deck, cutting it into 3 piles. And when I made the first cut, what I saw on the bottom was this King of Swords. Okay, so that's air sign energy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. All right. And when I cut the deck, what was on the next half? The Queen of Swords. Okay, again, air sign energy. All right, Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. Okay, this is also a separation. Okay, with the way it came up like this. And also it came up on the split of the deck. Okay, so I feel like there's been some kind of separation, some kind of distancing in a relationship. Excuse my nails. I can't help but notice them. They are so gnarly right now. Oh, maybe you're like too tired of everything you've been through in this situation. You're like, you know what? I don't care about keeping up appearances. Like it's rough right now. Okay. So it seems like there's been something that's happened in a relationship. There's been some kind of separation. But if you notice with the way they came out on the cut of the deck energy, they're both looking towards each other. Okay. They're not looking away from one another. So this is going to be revisited, whatever this is. Okay, we see the king energy is very much in this like contemplative state. All right, I'm getting this feeling of trying to decide what's the right action to take in this situation, what would be an equitable solution where each person feels like they're getting what they need. I think this had something to do with like a fundamental need each of these people had, and it's something that's like, no, that's non-negotiable for me, a deal breaker kind of thing on the table. and having a hard time like making an agreement about this, okay? But I see that this is going to be revisited, all right? This is just what's coming up. I haven't even started shuffling the cards, but this came in. For this to come in the way it did, this is significant. So there's some relationship that you're dealing with, okay, where there's been some kind of separation, some kind of parting of ways, some kind of let's put this on ice for a minute here. But it does look like there is a desire to figure out how can we work this out? How can we bring this back together with the way they were both looking at each other? Okay, so that's significant. I always pay attention to that. When I call out signs in this reading, please remember it's for all strong placements: Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, North Node, Mercury, Mars. Okay, or even if they have a packed house, you're probably not walking around in super sleuth mode with a copy of every single person you interact with, natal chart. So, don't get too hung up on it, okay? And just listen to the story, and as it's coming out, you'll know how it speaks for you. Always use your intuition as a guide. I am reading for a collective, okay? So there's a lot of different messages that come through. Sometimes messages that come in, they get hijacked by a cross watcher energy. But for some reason, that's really pertinent for that to come through. Maybe that's because it's essential for the people to understand things through the other person's eyes. I think that's why that happens sometimes. So even that has value. You'll know if it's the other person, okay? So trust how things come through. I just have to deliver the messages as they come in. I feel a need to say that, okay? Because recently with the Taurus read, I don't know, maybe you're dealing with the Taurus too. Taurus read was rough, man. The Taurus read was rough. There was a lot of like just a lot of kind of not the best energy operating through the read. And I tried so hard to make that clear, that the read was probably being hijacked by a cross watcher. But, sometimes it's hard to hear. I get it. But don't shoot the messenger, no matter what comes through, right? I got to just deliver the messages. If I start trying to censor what wants to come through or make it sound prettier than it actually is, then I'm being full of shit. And that's not me. That's not who I am at all, right? Straight from the hip with lots of lip, right? I let you all know what you were getting into. We see that there's going to be some kind of action, I believe this is in regard to that relationship. Might be from a fire sign energy. That would be Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. It's going to be a small little action, more like I feel an opener, like let's get together and talk about this. Let's kind of meet at the table together, right? And this situation, it doesn't have to be romantically based, although it very well could be. But it could be in regard to like a business connection. It could also be a social connection or something you're dealing with a family member. Okay, so open your mind about it. I just thought it could be close friends you have in your social circle, and you feel a little stressed out because they're having challenges in their relationship. You feel sort of put in the middle. So that's somebody's story too. All right, so let's see what's going on here and find out what this is all about. What's coming in for Cancer Collective throughout. Ooh, that was a flyer. This present lunar cycle running clear through until October 2nd. This fell on the floor. Okay, and did you see the way it flew through the air? 8 of Wands. Action time, okay? Communication coming in, like I was saying, ooh, sentience. And because it flew through the air, some people might actually be traveling somewhere to have this communication with this person. It might be something that maybe you're at a distance from each other, and there's no way that you can really have this communication over the phone. It's something that needs to happen face to face. Okay, so we got this on the board. Let's see what this communication is about. Here. There's a lot coming in. There's a lot coming in. Okay. Okay, yeah, and you very well, some of you could be dealing with a Taurus, okay? I have to say that. I have to say that. So interesting. So I see, you felt really blocked and you've been trying to find the way forward in this situation and you've sort of felt like your hands are tied. There's this sense that, hey, I've done everything that I can do here and the ball's in your court. That's kind of the vibe I got here. I also feel like you haven't been very hip to like you being the one to initiate this process. And I think that's because with the Seven of Swords coming up right alongside it, you really feel like you got done dirty here. Somebody was sneaking around, somebody wasn't being honest with you. I think you feel like you got kind of the short end of the stick in this situation. Doesn't feel good. It was hurtful with those 3 swords coming at the back on the Seven of Swords. You felt kind of stabbed in the back in this situation. There is another Taurus significator here, okay, with this Hierophant card. I do think that this is something that had an impact on your friend circle. I think it made things awkward in your friend circle is what I'm getting. But there's kind of a lot of talk in the community about this, and it's causing a certain sense of discomfort. I also see that you don't need to worry about what's going on here, okay? You're good. Like, Spirit's watching over you in this situation, Spirit's seeing everything that's gone down. And just, rest assured, everything's going to be ironed out in this situation. You are being watched over. There are some of you, okay, this is not everyone's story, but there are some of you that are actually dealing with some kind of litigation, some kind of legal situation in regard to this. You're going to get communication coming in that's going to get things moving forward. Maybe there was an agreement that was trying to be reached at the table before things can move forward. I see that communication is going to come in. For others of you, this has to do with some kind of relationship, okay? Some kind of relationship where there was a falling out. I still think, even if you're in some kind of legal litigation, it revolves around some kind of relationship, whether that relationship be business, familial, or personal, okay? There's some kind of connection, some kind of partnership issue involved in this. But as there's something coming in that's going to free up this restriction. It does have something to do with cleaning up the past. You've had to be very strong in this situation. You've had to really keep your temper under control. You've had to move through this with a lot of emotional maturity is what I want to say about that with the Strength card coming up here. Could have something to do with a Leo. This is a Leo card, all right? Leo archetype. I think you also had to really be confident in this situation, confident in your position, how you felt about things and not willing to budge. We do see there is some kind of advance made. I do feel that for a lot of you, most of you, this is related to a romantic relationship, and there is going to be some kind of forward motion here. It comes in through communication first and might lead to okay, let's get together in person. Some travel, like I said, might be required to do this. We have the High Priestess energy here, okay? So this is really about trusting your intuition, all right? Really be mindful of how you're feeling about things. I want you to pay attention when this person reaches out to you, because we do see there's been some kind of wrongdoing in this situation. Somebody really was not treated right. So I do want you to be mindful of the lessons you've already learned with this person. Remember, when people show you who they are, trust them, okay? Now, that's not to say that people can't transform, that people can't grow, that people can't change. I have to believe in that, right? Don't we all? I mean, if you don't believe that people can change, that people can grow, then what's the point, right? Then we're really fucked as a whole. As humankind, we're really screwed if We don't believe that people can change, that people can heal, that they can grow, that they can evolve. All right. But what I'm saying is you're going to really need to listen to your intuition and pay attention to the energy in this situation when you're interacting with this person. Okay. Pay attention to the energy. Don't play that game on yourself where you say, oh, well, maybe this is just my trauma being activated. I'm projecting onto this person my feelings of trauma from the past and I'm not giving them a chance. No, no, no. People need to understand this. Like the reason why those feelings come up is because you're spotting a red flag. And what that red flag is about is it's like, wait a minute, like I've seen this before. I've seen this before. I recognize this. I know what this is about. And the person's mouth may be saying one thing, but the energy stamp, the energy signature is all over what's going down. All right. So don't doubt yourself. I'm really getting with this message coming through. This is your test. I feel like this is a spiritual challenge for you. It's a spiritual challenge that is testing the strength that you have gained in your personal growth on your path. Have you integrated this lesson? You know, this is really about trusting yourself. Okay. Doesn't matter what anybody says. And again, you know, what are they doing? What are they doing? Pay more attention to actions in this situation. I get that too with the Eight of Wands. You know, it's not just about, you know, what's said, what's expressed. It's about what are you actually doing? How are you actually showing up? And that's on both sides. Okay. It's just something good to be mindful of. Like, don't write checks with your mouth, you know, that can't be cashed, you know, kind of thing. It's like really walking your talk, walking your talk. So this person, when they approach, could potentially be a water sign energy. That is your energy too. So in some cases, this could be Cancer. This could be you making an advance towards someone. I pick that up especially with masculines. Okay. You know, setting your sights and you're like, okay, I'm going to just go and resolve this. I'm going to come rushing in with my heart on my sleeve and I'm going to take the risk and do what I can to heal this. Okay. And in those cases, it might even be maybe you feel like, oh, I could have done better by this person. Okay. I mean, we've all been there. We've all had times like that. Okay. Where we realize we could have done better. Okay. But for others of you, this is somebody coming towards you. Okay. Could have Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio strongly aspected in their chart. But it's definitely an emotional offer with that Cups energy. We do see that it brings happiness, okay? Another Leo card here, all right, with the sun. And this also makes me think a lot of travel, you know, fun in the sun. I think maybe there might be a little jaunt, you know, a little getaway. I don't feel like it's anything major. I feel like it's just kind of like a little weekend away or something. Maybe somewhere nice and sunny and warm, maybe somewhere by the water, maybe going out for like a picnic or, you know, even if it's not like a little vacation away, just I feel like maybe you're going to meet kind of on neutral territory, like somewhere outdoors, somewhere in nature, somewhere that feels like a nice grounding space, and you're going to have this conversation. I'm really picking up that it's a communication that's coming through. And we do see right behind that the Queen of Pentacles. This is Earth sign energy. Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn. Taurus has come up a few times, okay? So some of you are dealing with the Taurus or somebody has Taurus strongly aspected in their chart. Bottom of the deck energy, we have the Three of Pentacles. Now, this could have something to do with work, all right? Could have something to do with work. But for those in relation to a romantic situation, this could be a third party situation, okay? Because we do have the Page of Swords here. And that's kind of, you know, sneaking around, doing something on the sly, you know? It's a very secretive kind of energy, not up front. All right. And we have that coming in with the Three of Pentacles, which is, there's multiple people working together. And we have the Eight of Cups coming up with this, which is all about walking away from this energy, wanting something more. Okay. So I'm going to slant it both ways so it can resonate with those who need to receive these messages. If you're dealing with a work situation where maybe a business partnership went sour because somebody got pulled in and it threw the whole dynamic off, you had to walk away from this. I see that that was the right decision, okay? Because something will turn in your favor in regard to this, and it brings in a new opportunity for you. I feel the new opportunity that it brings in for you is actually something that allows you to bring your creativity more to the forefront. I think that you had a lot of ideas, you had a lot of input, you had a very creative way of doing things that the people that you were involved with on a business capacity before just simply weren't open to. And so really your growth was being stunted in that situation. And where you do feel like taken advantage or you didn't get what was due you, and that's been a holdup, that maybe there's been some kind of holdup on money, final money you were supposed to receive in that situation. I do see that being resolved. And then you're going to move forward very quickly. New opportunities going to come in for you. It's going to land you in a much better spot, okay, that allows you to really use some of your skills, some of your talents that really have not been seen up till now because they just didn't have the right platform. All right. But this opens things up for you. And you might have to travel, to meet with somebody in regard to this opportunity. I think it's going to turn out really, really well for you. And some of you, this may have something to do with doing online work on some kind of visible platform. It could even be on YouTube, something along these lines. But I do see there could be like a tech or a social media angle to this, all right? For those of you dealing with a relationship situation, whether that's romantic or whether it has to do with a family member or somebody you're very close to in your friendship circle, I see there was like a third party element that was very problematic, and it was probably interfering in the connection online. Okay. This can be anything from somebody was like sexting somebody else, flirting with somebody else online, developing a long distance relationship very well could be part of that picture because we do see a lot of travel cards here that implies there could be a connection at a distance. It also could be that somebody was being nosy into your business, and the person that you were dealing with was talking to a lot of other people about what was going on privately between the two of you. This caused a lot of problems, caused a lot of gossip, it caused a lot of drama, it caused a lot of interference, a lot of stress, a lot of bullshit that you're like, I'm not dealing with this anymore, okay? There's a big social media angle though. I'm really feeling with this. There's a lot of this happened on social media. This is basically just, I'm not picking up addiction with this one. I'm just not. I don't know. Sometimes a third party has to do with like an addiction. Somebody has an addiction to something, but I'm not feeling that. I actually feel like there's been a lot of overcoming addiction within the Cancer collective. If there was any addictive element, I would say it would be more like maybe some kind of addictive relationship pattern, like maybe kind of like a codependency in a relationship. And this was causing like this dividing element, all right? But I feel like there's been a moving away from this situation, looking for sort of higher ground, wanting something more. We really see the trip is like super emphasized, all right? Look at this. We got the Eight of Cups is what came in first. And what comes in next, it heads straight into the full energy, all right? It's like such a perfect mirror. Look, crosses over that bridge from the old life and look at all the cups, it's kind of like I'm walking away from this options kind of energy. So I do feel like there were too many cooks in the kitchen in this situation. You weren't vibing on it. You want something deeper. You want something more soulful, and you're going to go out and find it. You're like, I'd rather start from nothing and build myself back up and create the life I want to create for myself than deal with this bullshit anymore. There is that reminder from that dog back there, like, don't forget the lessons you learned, be inspired, be excited, but look where you're going too. Take that medicine you gained from your past experiences with you as you head out on this new road. But I love this on the staff, there's this heart hanging from that staff that the fool is carrying. And so you're letting love guide you. You chose the path with heart moving forward. We do see like something just wasn't good enough, right? With this Four of Cups, you were dissatisfied. You're like, I don't want that cup. I know what's in that cup. I'm always thirsty. That cup never quenches my thirst. I'm holding out for this, baby. I'm holding out for the lover's experience. And I do feel like you're going to get this communication come in. I feel like it is somebody coming back around the bend, all right? There's that message. And look, they're kind of on this like magic, it's almost like a magic carpet ride, this swan they're on. I just thought, God, it's like freedom rock, man. I just thought of that really old, Steppenwolf song, Magic Carpet Ride. Okay. So that's coming in really strong. It has that vibe, right? And we do see there's a little bit of fantasy here. We have to be realistic. All right. We have to be realistic. The lovers, this is a very whimsical card, but I think it's interesting. Okay. Because this particular deck, the Paulina Tarot, it was inspired by life in New Orleans. Okay. And so you look at this lovers card, it's very different from other lovers cards. Lovers cards are usually about making a choice. And often they show that though two figures have their hands joined, they're looking at opposite directions. They're distracted, they got a choice. They're not focused. And often there's some kind of symbol of temptation between them. And in this one, it's just like, oh, they look so enamored with each other. They're so like in love with each other. And it's all so beautiful and it feels so magical. And since this comes out in New Orleans, I'm really getting the vibe. This is like it, this card always gives me glamour vibes. And you notice how he's kind of leaning over and whispering in her ear. You know what I just saw? Oh my gosh, I just saw the Titanic and I saw Jack and Rose. Yeah, we all remember how Jack, stood behind Rose, held Rose up while she had that glorious moment on the front of the Titanic. And we remember who didn't let Jack up on that board when they were in this, icy sea. So there's a bit of this like glamour, this glamour element here, So I like, again, like I said, like listen to what your gut tells you in this situation when this comes forward. Pay attention to the energy. That's so, I can't stand Rose, man. I'm telling you, I just have to have a moment. I saw the Titanic more times than I can count. I've never gone to the theater and watched a movie more times than I have the Titanic. I loved that movie. I've always been fascinated with the Titanic. I love Leonardo DiCaprio. And Kate Winslet was just simply stunning and beautiful, and all the costumes and the music and the whole vibe. Okay. I loved the movie, the cinematography, everything about it. Okay. Everything about it. And just to have a little peer, into the actual people that were affected by that event and to know that they did the historical research. And I don't know, it just felt like it really pulled you into that experience. And ever since I was a kid, I was fascinated with the Titanic, all right? But man, I was so pissed off at Rose for like letting him freeze to death like that. Like, she is one selfish bitch. I think he should have kicked her off that board and he should have climbed up himself, man. It's like here was this beautiful love story, like destroyed in the end by her total self-absorbed selfishness. I was like so mad, so mad. I don't know if anybody picked up on that, but I thought it was interesting. Now at the end, at the end, she takes off the heart necklace and throws it away. And I felt like, oh God, I got sentience right now. She throws it back to the sea, and it's almost like, yeah, he's the one, like Jack's the one who deserves that heart, man, because he had the pure heart. It's almost like she was too enamored with what didn't matter at the end of the day. Like, her heart goes on. No, man, her heart doesn't go on. Like, she lost her heart when she like let him go down to his watery grave, man. So there's some kind of energy coming through here for you in your situation where that's how you're feeling about the person you're dealing with. We did see that Seven of Swords. I mean, you don't get more Seven of Swords than, Rose sitting there watching poor Jack freezing to death in the water and just looking at him like, sorry for you, man. That's Seven of Swords. We know you dealt with a Seven of Swords situation. So I will say to you, in this situation, honestly, it might be better for you just let this shit die with the Death card. This might be a matter of really learning how to accept the wisdom of the deaths that come into our lives. They're painful, right? They're painful. But the thing about death is that death is always followed by a new beginning. It's not just an ending. It's an ending that leads to a beautiful new beginning, a beautiful new beginning. It's all about transformation. So there's transformation coming in here. Is there a possibility for this thing to reunite and turn out beautifully? Yes, honestly, there is. Okay, with the Magician here on the top of the deck energy. The Magician in terms of relationships, okay, and especially here. Okay, look at this. We're talking leveling up. We got the Magician to the High Priestess. You want to talk about a power couple, okay? Spiritual connection, especially coming in with the Lovers. There is a spiritual connection here, all right? Now, I just got, in some cases where this person comes back around and maybe you're nervous about opening yourself back up, but the energy doesn't lie and you're like, I need to do this. Like, you feel like your soul telling you, no, I need to risk it with this person. I need to go into healing with this person. And this person's ticking all the boxes and they are being accountable. They're taking action. They're not exhibiting the old patterns. They are walking their talk. There is absolutely a chance to heal this connection and have it be so much more of a deeper spiritual, soulful bond. That thing that you walked away from them seeking, you'll actually find in them again, okay? After a time of you two having been apart, all right? But for others of you, where you feel it come around and it's the same old tune, same old shit, different day, nothing's changed, very quickly you start seeing things go back into the old pattern. This is here to let you know that the reason why that ended is because there's somebody else meant for you, your true soulmate. And this is the person you have a deep spiritual connection with. And this is the connection that you want to go for. You want to wait for this. Don't fall for the illusion. Okay? There is something so important here about your situation that you don't just let them spin their little spell on you. Don't get caught up in their web of illusion. There is this piece. What are they actually doing? And what is your intuition telling you when this person comes around? It means everything in this situation. It means absolutely everything in this situation. See, look, 7 of Cups. I don't lie. I don't lie. 7 of Cups is about being very mindful of your choices, not getting distracted. Look, she has her eyes closed. Notice the hand position. She's saying, wait just a minute here. And is she looking outside of herself For answers, for opinions, no. She's closing her eyes. She's being very internal. She's paying attention to the energy. She's reading the energy in the room to let that inform her about how she moves forward in this situation, because she knows, she sees this illusion. She sees these mists of illusion all around her. She sees these cups, which I see as promises. And she knows that some of these cups are fucking empty. Okay? They are empty. And so she's going to be very wise about making her choice. I'm saying she, but if this really feels like it's resonating with you and you're a dude, like, it's for you, okay? I just funnel the message in as it comes in, okay? So always apply it to your situation. Just listen to the energy, all right? She's really tuning in before making this decision because there's illusion here. There's an element of illusion. And that's not being unreasonable. And it's not being paranoid. To be mindful of this because you already dealt with the Seven of Swords with this person. You know what I'm saying? Okay? Yeah. Have balance in this situation. Balance things out. Know your worth. Stand on it. All right? And really balance this out. Some of you will be able to balance this out, in particular, those of you who are dealing with a Leo energy, all right? Because this Two of Cups here, notice how the energy is flowing between the two cups. It's a reciprocal flow. It's connected. It's interconnected. It's mutually beneficial, okay? Mutually beneficial connection, right? And the way that that energy is flowing between the Two of Cups, it really looks like the symbol of Leo to me. So we did have Leo come up a few times in this reading. So I feel like in this case, it is possible to find the balance. Temperance is a card associated with Sagittarius, okay? So we do have that other fire sign significator energy here. We also have, some Aries energy on the board too. More as an archetype, though. With the major arcana cards, we're looking at more archetypal energy, like anybody can embody that energy. Yeah, I see it's about new agreements in this situation, okay? This is, just one of the author introduction cards for the deck, but I use it to symbolize anything having to do with the written word or, any type of contracts, okay? So there is a soul contract here. There is a soul contract here, but I feel like there's a choice. Okay. I feel like there's a choice. Somebody in this situation is trying to make a choice between more than one option. All right. And this is a very, very important choice, but we do see there will be some kind of contract entered into. For some of you, where this is about business, it's going to be a new business contract. Things are going to get ironed out. They're going to go your way. And what was due you in the old situation in terms of your financial return, it is going to be restored to you. All right. That's going to turn out well. For some of you that were in marriages and maybe you really dealt with a difficult patch that was related to a third party situation or some kind of outside interference in your relationship, I see you kind of renewing your commitment to each other, working through it. And for some of you, the story is that you walked away from somebody. They're going to try to come back, make their way back in. And you're just going to know the energy isn't right. And you're meant to release that. It's very much a statement of your growth. And actually getting the memo. Like, I got the lesson this time. I don't need to repeat it. And it's by doing this, you dissolve that contract, that soul contract. You free yourself from that karmic loop. And the person that you are supposed to be aligned with, the one you walked away from them, for because you wanted something more. You wanted that spiritual connection. Well, get ready because it's coming. It's coming with the high priestess and the magician. These are two people that have done their work, you know? They have alchemized the energy, you know, and together, what they can create together, there is no end to what they can create together. Really, really beautiful energy. I feel compelled to get one more card here. Yeah, I see wish fulfillment for you. There's so much bless up energy coming in for the collective as a whole. It's really awesome with this cycle. Good things are in store. So I think with that 9 of Cups, that wish fulfillment, all right, we got to do a cut of the deck energy right now because that feels like a good stopping point. All right, let's not tempt the fates. Let's not tempt the fates. Yeah, I do see reciprocation, working together, working it out, whether it relates to business or romance. For some, that was the problem in the relationship. It was actually related to finances. It was like, I want you to contribute too. Maybe one person was kind of carrying everything. You two work that out, you know? Yeah, we see that the 6 of Pentacles replaces this 3 of Swords. There is a way to work through what was initially a source of separation. And this is another thing that people often don't think about with the 3 of Swords is that sometimes the 3 of Swords, you know, it does come back around the bend. You know, there can be a kind of a reunion energy there. Yeah, and it's interesting. Looking on this side, right behind the 3 of Swords, what do we got? We got the 2 of Wands, which is looking toward the future, you know, and right behind that is the 7 of Wands, which is, you know, sticking to your guns, you know, knowing your worth, not being willing to settle, not dealing with any fuck shit. You know, you need people to come correct. All right. Wondering if there's going to be growth in this situation. The 3 of the Swords goes to the 4 of Swords, all right, which is a time of rest, letting go, giving it over, trusting the way things unfold in this dynamic. What happens? Ace of Pentacles, a new beginning, a solid offer, home life preserved with that nest there. And this is the Judgment. Boom. Rest assured, you know, whichever of these stories aligned for you, all right, it might have been challenging, but there's something really good in the works on the other side of this. And it's all coming back around for review, for healing, for integration. And it sets you on the course to your wish fulfillment. And it looks really fucking awesome. So I'm stoked for you. I'm really enjoying seeing in how many of these readings that are coming out that people are actually doing the work. Like, that's so good. There's so many people doing the work, healing, transforming their lives, transforming their relationships, going out, going after their goals, setting their visions, making it happen. So let's just let's focus on that a little bit more. Like, how awesome is it that people are actually showing up, being accountable, and doing what it takes to heal? I think that's like fantastic. So happy wish fulfillment to you, and good going, Cancer.